you know what? My complexion is deteriorating with
Oh no.
age. I don't know if you've heard about aging, but like the skin,
Yeah.
it's been worn in. It's been destroyed and crispified by
Is
the
it,
elements.
is it getting leathery?
The sun and the long nights,
What's the sun?
the sun. What's this?
Mega Dads Live is a mature rated podcast. It's for the Mega Dads, the Mega Moms, but not the Mega Kids. So put on those earmuffs and let's go!
You are a pale one, Adam. You should probably get out there a little bit.
Holidays, wintertime.
Holidays.
We get
Wintertime.
this dry air bullshit.
Yeah.
Where like everything just gets itchy and dry and like ugh. Do you got yourself a humidifier in your house?
No, that's a good idea. A humidifier.
We haven't hooked ours up yet, but we do that every year. You got to
Man,
get that
good
warm
idea.
mist.
The
It's
warm
like
mist.
it's like having an elf ejaculate into the air, right? It just moisturizes
Just
everything.
spraying your face.
It opens the pores.
It opens something.
Gets a little sticky, but it does the job.
Speaking of sticky things,
Yeah.
Adam, I am struggling as a parent. I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's not easy. And
Parenting?
no, it's
We've built a brand on it over the last 10 years.
something that's troubling me in particular is my daughter going to school and interacting with other kids. The reason being
Yeah.
is what I call the lunchroom problem. So kids will get together and they will just say shit. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes,
Like
they will.
thoughts, things they've heard. And when you have so many kids all around each other mixing from different families and backgrounds and everything, you don't know what these kids are going to say to your kid. So somebody told Lily, Santa doesn't exist,
Oh,
all that. So
Oh,
that
fuck
happened.
that.
That finally happened. So I was like, whatever. And we were able to talk her down and be like, these people who dress up like Santa are his helpers because he can't be everywhere at once. So there's the real Santa or whatever. So we explained to her what was going on, and she was fine because she's introduced to like this idea of there's multiple Blippies. There are.
it's the
there are-
multiverse. It's the Santa
Exactly.
multiverse.
She gets the concept anyway, so it's fine. Then some kid tells her heaven isn't real, and we believe in heaven, or we're like, hey, we believe in something happening as opposed to blank nothingness.
Yeah.
So this kid's like, guess what? Game over, permanent sleep. So she's talking about that. So I'm getting like kids will be sitting there and like a kid will just be like, gun crime is way up. Like just
Where
saying,
does your daughter go to school?
they're all like this, Adam. This is why I need your sage advice.
Yeah.
Because what do I do? Because these kids are just like talking about contraception.
Yeah.
They're talking about like the weirdest, and they don't fully understand. So they latch on to whatever they hear as fact and just spew it. It's like the internet
Yeah.
is the kids' classroom because they're not on the internet. They are the internet. They're the trolls. They're the conspiracy theorists. I'm watching it play out in real time.
And that's exactly what's happened over the last decade. We had real life and then we had online life. Well, so many of our kids these days have grown up in that atmosphere where online life is now real life. And we are truly living in an absolute hellscape. What I've found to be super helpful is I am just incredibly honest with my kids. And
What?
my wife, well, hold on. My
Holy
wife
shit.
My wife may not exactly agree with this approach, but I am more than willing to call out stupid fucking people in the world in front of my kids. So my kids know Donald Trump is a fucking piece of shit, right? Like I'm not shy about that. I don't shield my kids from the fact that there are people in this world who believe the world is flat. Like there are legit idiots all over the place. So, I mean, the fact that you can kind of spin this in a way where don't listen to these people talk about Santa Claus because they're probably anti-vaxxers. They probably think measles isn't real, right? You know what I'm talking about? Like, we can use this to
Yeah.
our advantage
Yeah.
because there are genuinely the dumbest people running their mouth in the world. Just don't, you, son, daughter, just don't be a fucking idiot. Just don't be an asshole. And I use that exact language.
All right, look, in the year 2026, as a Mega Dad turns over a new leaf, I'm introducing a segment where I'm going to be posing a question that kids may ask you.
Okay.
So it's like that advice show that like burned out really quick. Damn it, bring it back. I want like what kids need to know
Mhm.
and how you explain it to them. And I'm going to try to find the most awkward, out of left field
love it.
topics, and
Bring it.
I need you to give me the truth because you're honest. I'm not. So you'll do the honest and I'll do the lie.
Good cop, good
Yeah.
dad, bad dad, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it'll be called. Good dad, bad dad. There we go. All right, I love it.
You know, it's just gotten to be to the point where like I can't hide the world's horrors from my kids. They're too old and they're too perceptive, right? And of course, like everybody else, they're too online. So why not just give it to them straight?
I will not be doing that. I will be shielding my daughter. I will also be
Right.
lying. I will be
You live in your house of lies.
Yeah,
and,
I live in the-
I will
I will
prepare my
live in the
children
house
for
of
the
lies.
harsh
This is
realities of
great.
America in today's world. As we're closing out the year, I thought before we start talking about the game, let's look back on
Yeah.
this year
Let's look
in
back.
gaming.
Yep.
Because it's easy to live in the now and not think about like all the great things that we've had or maybe all of the rough things that we've had. 2025 has definitely been a mixed bag. Well, we've gotten a lot of really great games. And as we start compiling our lists of like best of the year kind of thing, let's talk about some of the games that we think were really great and maybe some of the moments that weren't so great. I think Xbox had a particularly garbage year. They've lost one of their loyal players with you. You're going straight PC.
Yeah, it's the defining moment of this year for me is the jump away from the Xbox ecosystem. They had me with Game Pass. They had me with the controllers. Obviously, always been a thing with the staggered sticks, but they had me with a lot of promises of things that were going to come that never did. There was a big warning sign right around the time that they were fumbling the Halo franchise. It's like, how do you mess this up? And it just ends up being too much. And I jumped and I've upgraded my PC. I am PC only now. I have sold my Xbox. I have cut ties. It's been incredibly painful. But that is going to define 2025 for me, looking back as the year that they finally missed me, that they finally lost me. And I said it when I announced this on one of the other MDLs, which was they quit first. Like it wasn't me quitting them. They literally have thrown in the towel in so many number of ways. And it's a shame because Game Pass was always my go-to as an adult with like trying to manage my budget away for me to dip into games. But I was just like, I did the math and I'm like, this is just not worth it anymore for me.
And what's really interesting is from an outsider perspective, it really seems like they completely flipped the script. For so many years, they didn't have the game, but the culture surrounding Xbox as a company was so good. And this year, they had lots of really great games, but the culture completely shit the bed. We lost Perfect Dark. We got all these studio closures, Game Passes through the roof. We're not making exclusive games anymore. It's really weird that once they finally figured out the games, they just like they pivoted as a corporation into a really ugly position. I think some of the games there wasn't a lot of first party stuff for me to play on the PlayStation side, but I found lots of other games to occupy my time. I really enjoyed Silent Hill. Blueprints was a shining game at the beginning of the year. I know Claire Obscure just ran away with the Game Awards. It's a game I haven't played yet, but there was a lot of third-party excellence. Were there
Yes.
any games that stood out for you that you wanted to touch on really quick?
So the one that has my attention right now was the Deep Rock Galactic roguelike game. And I keep bringing this up because similar to Ball X Pit that came out in 2025, similar to some of these other, roguelike games that are just very addictive, it got a hold of me. And it's just, you turn your mind off, you mine resources, and you just, you know, there's something about this loot box thing where you randomly get a choice between different options to upgrade, and then you kind of craft your build along the way. Many games do this, and Deep Rock Galactic Survivor has really taken me by surprise. So apparently it did release in an early access state and then hit 1.0, but we're counting it in 2025 as a highlight for me. And it's not on a lot of people's radar. Like, other people will talk about, big games. So like, oh, have you played Hades? Like, have you played Expedition 33? But this is one of those diamond in the rough type games for me. And then the other one that got me late was Arc Raiders, which is very popular, but a game that I didn't know if I was going to like, that I didn't like actively. I was searching and saying, someone explain to me why, how this game is good, because I'm like, this isn't that good. But the sound design, fantastic. There are people in other industries, including like movie and television, who are tapping this developer to be like, how did you get this level of quality? And then it's the type of game that's very social, where you're just in a wasteland. Everyone that you encounter can either kill you or leave you alone. And it's just this like restores faith in humanity when like you see someone be like, hey man, just like don't shoot. And they're like, okay. And then you just go about your business, or you work together. And then it breaks your faith in humanity, because like we just got jumped this morning. I was playing with my brother, and we're leaving. We had a successful mission. We looted good loot. We're about to leave, and I opened the door, and boom, gun to the face, because somebody was hiding, waiting for us at the exit. And it just like, those two games I would say are the standouts for me. And I don't think enough people played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's a slower RPG, beautiful world, and very like you have to make your own potions. So you sit and grind the herbs and use that for your save, use that for your health, use that to cure yourself of disease. You have to wash yourself with soap, or else people say you smell. Like, it is a very, very deep RPG. And yeah, I would say those are my highlights. Not enough people played.
This year also saw the release of a brand new console, the Nintendo Switch 2, which you have. You've been playing some games. How do you feel that went off? Do you think the Switch 2 launch was a success?
In its first, I would say, like, launch to the holiday, I would give the Switch I would give it a B minus, honestly, because Donkey Kong Bonanza is a fantastic game. I'm looking back on it now, and I feel like it's a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Like, it's really great. But Mario Kart World was disappointing. Kirby Air Riders was like, didn't really grab me. Metroid Prime 4, which we're playing now, is just full of issues and pacing and it's been okay. And initially I was very jazzed about it, but I think that it could have been so much better of a first like 6 months, or 8 months or so. So this, I'm really hoping that Nintendo has something up their sleeve. They had one announcement at the Game Awards for an exclusive, and then they had a montage. But they have been coming out with third-party ports. So Switch 2 is... I think they're going up. They're on an upward trajectory for 2026 because they just have so much IP to tap.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the Animal Crossing update next year. That's
Animal Crossing, let's go.
That's gonna own my shit.
Give me a non-clunky Animal Crossing, please.
And I think the other big story as we close out our look back on 2025 is just cost. Prices have increased across the board. Our pastime, our love of gaming is increasingly less affordable.
Yeah.
Console prices are going up. Games are launching at $80 base. It's crushing, man. And all signs seem to be pointing to the fact that things are only going to get more expensive as companies and industries are unable to absorb the cost of Trump's tariffs. So I don't know, man. I mean, look at Game Pass. Fucking Game Pass is gone. Like it's unaffordable. Game Pass, which used to be like the cheap alternative, like you got it, like you got to get it, and everything is just so expensive.
The only game that I would say was worth my money was Battlefield 6 because it ended up being an excellent shooter, one of the more competent multiplayer experiences in years, and I played the hell out of this game. And it was one of these $70. And when I was playing it, that was like my reaction. I said, this was worth it. This was worth the money. I'm going to be playing this for quite a long time. There's, content coming out there. Just the moment to moment is so good. It gives you a lot to earn and progress toward. It was just great, like from a technical perspective, it runs great. It looks great. But all these other games that have charged me, I guess Donkey Kong as well.
You love that monkey.
So, but not, I feel like that's just going to be the base, but not all these games honestly deserve the same pricing. So I would like to see some of them stick around, the cheaper level, because now people don't talk about it as much. Like now, like if a game's coming out and they're charging 70, like there's not this big like hubbub because there have been others, but I think there should be. Still, I don't want that to just be the base and they like, oh yeah, we can charge you this much money for a game that's just like subpar. I don't think it's right, but I don't know. I guess the people will accept what they'll accept.
Well, that's our look back. Next week, we're going to be looking ahead. We're going to be talking about our most anticipated games of 2026, and we're also going to be starting our best of 2025 awards. Every week or every day throughout the week, we're going to be given different categories of what we thought was the best game to play in 2025. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel for that. We have one more 2025 game to talk about. This is our last episode of the year. Antonio, you and I have been playing a game, not together. We should carve out some time, assuming this thing is crossplay. But we have been playing a multiplayer game together called Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Marvel Cosmic Invasion is a beat-em-up game developed by Tribute Games and published by Dotemu. The game is released for PC, Switch 2, PS4, and 5. Not Xbox? Oh no, Xbox Series X and S. And it's available as of December 1st of 2025. Now, Adam.
Yeah.
I had high hopes for this game.
Uh-huh.
I played Splinter's Revenge.
Yeah.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
Is that the sequel to Shredder's Revenge?
Is that what it is? Is that what it's called? So, yeah.
That would be cool if you were fighting Splinter. I'd like that.
I would play the hell out of that.
Yeah.
But it's... I just had high hopes for this because it seems like a winning combination of like, let's do a retro brawler with this IP.
I'm sensing that you did not come away loving this.
I played 4 hours of the game. Got through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels, maybe 6. I am lukewarm on this whole experience.
Oh, no.
And, how much did you play and what did you think?
Well, we've been playing this pretty much every night since we picked it up a couple of weeks ago. So we're probably, 8 hours into it. We haven't completed the campaign. We've kind of been going back and replaying some levels and leveling up our characters. I bet you and I are playing this in completely different ways.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I am really enjoying my time with it because I'm approaching it as our family game. Just like we played Turtles, just like we played Karate Kid, just like we played Heroes of Mount Dragon, which we talked about a month ago on the podcast. We love brawlers in our family because it's easy to pick up and just kind of like swap characters and have fun with. Are you playing this completely solo?
Yeah, so I had an odd thing where I'm playing via Xbox PC Pass, and I have that like running out very soon, and I'm like, oh, I'm just not going to renew. This is going to be the last time. So I'm like, let me dip into this game, and then I hit the join others because I was hoping to matchmake with people, and I got this weird error that says that it's not available, and I'm gonna have to Google it. I'm gonna have to figure out if I can fix that because I did want to experience it with more people on the screen and get really like up the chaos of everything.
Yep.
So I was playing solo. You can swap between characters, so you really are selecting two at a time. And I was trying to like get a taste of all of them. So the initial 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, the initial like 10, 12 people, like I played through with the original, and then there are unlocks, which I had not gotten to yet. So yeah, interesting to me. Like it was an interesting experience solo. I think it would be more action packed with more people.
How old is Lily now?
She's 5.
I bet you if you stick a controller in your daughter's hand,
She could do it. Yeah.
she could do it, and your opinion of this game would change. I'm a huge proponent of saying that a game's quality is the amount of fun that you extract from it based on like how you play it.
Yeah.
Like we talked again about Heroes of Mount Dragon not that long ago. If I would have played that game by myself, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it at all. But the fact that I sat on the couch with all 4 of us and we went through it together, we made the experience like a family experience. And that's what we're having with Marvel Cosmic Invasion, because it's a 4-player co-op game. So we've filled out the roster as we play. We all select, which characters we want. Mom is always She-Hulk and Captain America. Nora likes to be Wolverine and Iron Man. We all like pick our favorites, right?
Awesome.
And then we swap. Like, oh, you should try this character because you like to fly. Like all the characters have like this different play style. It's very easy to understand how to play each character. But there are certain abilities or perks that each character have that, depending on how you like to play, your character selection actually matters.
Yeah,
so
it
about
does.
half of the roster can fly, the others cannot. So like there are flying enemies as they come on screen. Hey, Iron Man, there's guys up in the air. You got to take them out because I, as Ghost Rider, I can't fight them as effectively. Some characters are ranged attacks. Like Ghost Rider, he's got his laser weapons, but Wolverine is just a big brute, melee guy. So he's got to get in there, get up close and personal. So even though you can pick anybody up and play and have, good time, there are little differences that really matter to which characters you select. The other thing that I think is really cool about that is they allow you to tag in and out. So you select 2 characters at a time.
Yep.
So everybody's got 2 characters, and so your selection, maybe you want a flying guy and an up close and personal brawler guy so that you can swap in and out. And that adds to the insanity.
Yep.
Especially when you're playing with 4 players, because you've got 8 heroes, right? And the shit that happens on screen of switching in and out and you're doing your specials and big explosions and all that stuff, it can really be like you were saying you wanted that pure chaos that you got with Turtles once everybody was doing their supers on screen and stuff like that. So it's really, I think a game like this really needs to be that full team experience, because I can absolutely see having a muted fun time like you did where it's just like, oh, this is okay.
Yeah.
What did you think? So
I
you
wanted to
obviously haven't
see-
gotten to the point where you're like unlocking characters. What did you think of like the
No.
level diversity or the roster diversity?
So the roster is great. There are characters that are good and that jive with me, and then there are some that I just did not get or understand.
Yeah.
They all look amazing. The voice work is great. The actual moves, what bothered me the most, and I love that you're able to swap between and like keep things interesting for me, and I didn't know if this was like a broken setting but it wouldn't let me do my special as often as I wanted to. Like you have to hit or be hit, I believe, for the bar to go up. Maybe when you get hit, the bar goes down, but once you fill it, you unleash your special. And I thought that it was about 25% too stingy with the
Sure.
special. And I also thought that your regular attacks could be a little bit more like powerful, like that they could like bump it up. Like I like the characters where you can charge an attack to unleash it. When you hit your Y button or the top face button, you can do many times like a missile or a laser or something like that.
Yeah.
But they only give you like 3 shots, and then you have to wait, and then it fills up again. I just feel like the game is like stingy with the amount that it lets you do, that what it gives you. There may be an issue though where you are able to call in your assist, and as you call them in to jump in and fight with you, there are 4 ways to do it. So it's like, oh, bring in the character that you swap out to do a grab, or bring them in to do a projectile, bring them in to do a melee. And I don't think I'm good enough at that yet to be mixing that in. So as I'm playing, I'm thinking, is this too easy? Is this too hard? Like, I just couldn't understand. Like, it didn't feel smooth ever to me.
Sure.
The other thing that I think they could improve on is when you're hitting and you have your combo meter go up, as long as you don't get hit, it's like racking up. It's like 20 hit, 30 hit, 40. And I'm like, oh, something cool is going to happen when I hit like 50 or 75 or 100. And it never did. And I was thinking that there are these games that will be like great or marvelous, or like, you know, if it just shouted something at you and said like, oh, great, you have a good combo. And maybe at the end of the combo, like it starts showing that you just earn more points, which at the end of the level it increases your score, or something. Or if you get into a rage mode where you're doing well, you're in the combo, and then it would be cool if once you hit 50, you start to glow and like you're doing more damage. There's just some missing mechanic here where I felt like there was potential, especially in that combo system, where it could have been more engaging. My biggest complaint, Adam, is the levels, because there are moments of brilliance scattered with very basic. Like, for instance, you start out in New York, and I've never seen a more boring New York in my life. Like, they start with the bugle, and it's like, oh, this is cool. And I don't think there's one more memorable moment. It ends in like, there's a bank thing at one point. There's a construction site. The backgrounds are so basic. If you look at any of the fighting games, like, you know, a Tekken or a Street Fighter, like they have such iconic backgrounds, and they've gotten better over time. Or if you look back at Shredder's Revenge, and you think about their iconic moments and the things that happen, like, oh, dinosaurs are running through, or these big balls are falling, or there's fire. Like, there's not enough of that in this game. It's just too basic. And I wonder if it's because they're balancing, like, well, most people are going to play co-op with 4 people, and then they have swaps, so it's going to be 8 characters on screen at one time, plus the enemies. It's too much. Let's keep the backgrounds basic and static. There should be depth to it. They could have used the art style that they chose, but also spiced it up. I was incredibly disappointed 75% of the time. And then you have a brilliant moment where it's like, oh, that's cool. It's like a callback, or it's a mechanic or a moment that's memorable. But you could go a whole level and be impressed maybe 10%, 20% of the time max.
I think you are absolutely onto something with regard to balancing what's happening in the background with what's happening in the foreground. We're going to put it side by side on the screen here. You provided me some footage of your gameplay time, and I'm going to provide gameplay footage of my time. And you're going to see the difference between how much is happening on screen based on how much of your screen is populated with characters. But I will say, just like what you're talking about, Turtles had the same thing, you know, where you had lots of characters on the screen at a time, but Turtles had like the flying elements,
there was
or
stuff
like the
happening all the
skateboarding
time.
levels. Like they mixed up. This game does not have that. It doesn't have like that oh, this level mixes it up with a completely different game mechanic. There's none of that. So you are right. The levels are definitely much more subdued in what's happening. It's more about the characters that are, crossing the screen in the front. There's not a lot of mix up with what's happening in the back for sure. I just want to say that even though I'm not familiar with all of the characters in this game, I think that the selection is really interesting. I find myself
Yeah.
really drawn to Cosmic Ghost Rider, which I didn't even know that.
Really?
I didn't know that
like
was a
him.
thing.
Wow. Yeah.
But like that's become one of my favorite characters. I really like the design of it, and I like the
Yeah.
fact that he can do his ranged attack with his weapons, with his pistols, and then he can use his chain to pull people in
That's
with a
pretty cool, yeah.
grapple. The characters and the roster have a little bit of everything. I love represent the X-Men. I think there's a good amount of X-Men in this game. I'd love to see more X-Men. Give me all the X-Men that you possibly can. It's my favorite. So it's interesting to have a Marvel game that's got, you can have Captain America on the screen with Rocket Raccoon, with She-Hulk and Cosmic Ghost Rider. Like it's an interesting mix and mash of not the most obvious characters, right? Like of course they throw Iron Man and Spider-Man in there. They're kind of obvious pulls. But some of the more obscure, like Phoenix, like I don't know if I've ever played a game that has Phoenix in it. That's kind of cool, right? So if you're a Marvel super fan, there's gonna be a lot to like with Marvel Cosmic Invasion. But
Your favorite character was Ghost Rider then, right?
So I really like Iron Man.
Really?
And
Okay.
Ghost Rider, I think, is probably my second favorite, and then Wolverine, which Wolverine is a totally different play style. I'm more of a ranged guy. Like I like to be able to shoot things from across the screen. So Iron Man and Ghost Rider are probably my favorites, but Wolverine would be my third. Who do you like? Who's your main?
The top that I had fun with was She-Hulk.
Yeah.
She's a very like brutal brawler, and she has a thing where she can grab someone and like lariat them and throw them. And then it's constantly like jump in the air and slam down with your elbow, keeping people juggled. And then the clap works well. And then the super is fun.
She gets super huge. It's super
Yeah,
cool,
some of these, like Storm's super is awesome. It's like lightning just like randomly shoots everywhere. The Thor character has some cool stuff. He's like swinging the hammer. But then like Wolverine's special was just like kind of like a big like
He just
shing, like
smashes.
yeah, it's just like Black Panther too. Like his thing is, just kind of like shooting around.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there were interesting decisions about what each character were gonna do, and I just wish that they would just made them more fun, the moves, and more OP. I'm like, just
Yeah.
make everybody, whereas now I feel like there are tiers of like, I don't want to play, I don't know. There's a lot of them I don't want to play. Like I didn't like Ghost Rider. I thought Captain America was kind of cool. Like Wolverine's like a little basic. I didn't like the not Nova, the other one with the sword. Nova's good. The other lady is not so good. So it's just interesting. Rocket Raccoon was a standout to me just because I like charging his shot, and like his special is also like amazing. So yeah, it's interesting. It's a good, decent game. Do you think there's going to be a lot of DLC for this, or what are we expecting? I would expect something like this to be milked to death. Like that's how I would see.
I mean,
this happening.
there's certainly opportunity when you have a game where it's just kind of like anybody can come in and play, like to have DLC characters and stuff like that. But I don't know that they really did anything with Turtle. They had like I think one expansion on Turtles. So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what they do. But I just love to play Marvel games that have big rosters, right? Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man's great. I love
True.
Spider-Man, but it's
True.
Spider-Man. It's so focused on the Spider-Man. Wolverine, I'm super excited about, but I'd kind of rather have like an X-Men game. Like, give me the
Yeah.
team. Give me the team. And I think this game does that really well. The characters also interact with each other. So like the
Yeah.
dialogue, depending on
pretty
who you're
cool.
pairing up, they'll talk to each other, which is kind of fun. So it gives that real comic book team sense of like, these guys are working together. So if you have Iron Man paired with Ghost Rider, he's going to say something specific to Ghost Rider. It's just fun, and especially when you're playing with multiple people, you feel like you're on a team on the couch. You feel like you're on a team on the screen. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, that sound right there means it's the caboose. We're bringing this episode close. We're bringing this year to a close with a recommendation of something outside of the world of video games. In keeping with the Marvel theme, I went back and rewatched Thunderbolts, which is a film that I had seen in theaters, and I liked it quite a bit in theaters, but I found myself actually liking it more the second time around. And I think there's something great about when you rewatch a movie and you get a little bit more out of it. This is just a really great, more personal Marvel film. Like it's a team movie, right? And it's got the big action, all that stuff, but it's kind of a film that analyzes depression. Like the enemy. Have you seen Thunderbolts?
No, I have not. I'm so behind on my Marvel, you have like no idea.
Okay. Well, the main enemy of Thunderbolts is a guy struggling with depression, and the way that they kind of overcome the obstacle is by reflecting on your personal baggage and your personal demons and how you can't go through life alone when you're struggling. You need the people around you. And it quite literally
That's wild.
has a metaphor for depression and how you need to help people around you be better. And that's something that I think has been missing from Marvel for a long time. Like it's been a lot more about the flash than necessarily the substance. And this movie, Thunderbolts, does it really, really well, where it is a superhero movie and you got all the superhero things and the tropes and all that. But at its heart, it's telling a really resonant story about mental illness. So I highly recommend that folks watch Thunderbolts. It was a very good film.
So my recommendation is PC gaming, Adam. So I upgraded my GPU to a 9070 XT, and what that is like in the higher tiers of graphics that you can buy for a computer. And this card is doing like Battlefield at like 170 frames per second on like ultra settings. I got
Cyberpunk. Rocking it.
I put like Cyberpunk on and turned everything on. If you do ray tracing and every other like amazing high setting, it's still at 60 frames per second. And if you turn that off, you're like again at 100 plus, like 120 plus. And that's the thing. I bought a monitor that had a higher refresh rate, so it can do up to 144 frames per second. If you're on a console, which you don't understand until you experience it in person and on PC, is how impressive high frame rates are. You kind of understand if you go back and you play a 30 frames per second game, which was, the last 10 years, every action game. And then you started to see 60 frames.
Yeah.
And then for competitive shooters and for the PC community, 120 frames is like the minimum that people play at, because it's just something happens to the image. It's motion clarity. And when everything is working right and you turn the setting up and you have a high frame rate delivered consistently, like not where it's choppy, or when it's always at 120 or 140 or 200 plus, something happens to the image where, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Everything looks slightly like fake. It almost looks like there's more depth to everything. And like you're there, and it's just it's been an excellent experience so far. And I love the graphic side of it, because a lot of times you have to choose between high frame rates but like low quality settings.
Yeah.
Consoles typically are at medium settings, like a PS4 or 5, they can generate medium to high computer settings. But when you're on computer, they have things now called ultra or overkill or hurt my machine, like just make it go through. And I crank that up, and I also do high frame rate, and I try to get the best of both worlds. And when it works, it's just amazing. I'll have more and more gameplay in our B-roll from games that I cover on Mega Dads Live that are, I think we export the show at 30 frames.
I'll make sure and do 15 for that.
Yeah, something like that. We'll figure it out. But PC gaming's really cool if you can get into it. I would save money over time and consider the next time you're going to the next gen. Do you want the PS6, or do you want, the Steam machine, or maybe a PC. So consider it. We've got people in our community that can give you some advice if you're looking to build. Like Eric just built his PC. I just upgraded mine. So things are going that way, Adam.
Good for you. Look at you living. You're rolling large.
I try. It's hard.
When was the last time you fed your family?
Yeah, that's gonna be a thing. The cost is not, this GPU I got on like a Black Friday thing type for like $550, which, that's the big chunky thing you need, and then you spend like $150, $200 on a CPU, and then you need all the power supply, you need the RAM, which is crazy expensive right now. So you could spend, $1,500 easy to get like what I had 2 years ago, but now it's going to cost you $2,000 plus to get what I had. So you build over time, you save your money, you like try to get deals, do what you can. But in my opinion, the experience is way better than I ever paid like for a $700 or $600 Xbox.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed this special ultra high frame edition of Mega Dads Live. If you're listening, make sure that you jump over to the YouTube channel because that's where the action is really happening. Go to youtube.com/megadads. This show is created as a video content. We do our audio podcast, but if you really want the goods, you want to see the games that we're talking about, if you want to see Antonio's beautiful complexion, you got to go to YouTube. That's where it's at. This is the last episode of the year. We'll be back next year for an all-new episode.
See you next year, everybody.
Yeah.
We did it.
Bye-bye.